That's
I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. This the word of the Rambam.
I couldn't believe it. This morning, when I'm preparing the Shiur, and I opened up the Chitas, the Rambam.
That's the Rambam.
It's today's Rambam.
Hashem has siyata d'shmaya.
Wow.
He would do.
Father has no money and the father for himself or for the kid. Selfless.
I tried to push him to do it today, but the kind of shlup. Hopefully he'll do it this week.
This is the bunch guy.
Yeah. No.
The little guy. Guy did bar mitzvah a year and he changed it last time. The skinny guy?
Yeah.
His father is an Israeli Frenchie? Yeah. It's a kid bro French.
He spoke to you yesterday. He spoke French? He speaks French?
Yeah.
No, he spoke to you yesterday. The boy.
Yeah.
Sitting over there.
Yeah.
Nice boy, yeah.
Now he's in a yeshiva training center.
So he didn't have to do it all.
No.
But now we understand, he has to understand it's on him, as in his father, or the
Right.
older. His father was okay.
I called his father today. I tried to push him to do it today.
His father called me a few times, different question.
Right.
He told me one time they were invited to a wedding. Jewish wedding, but not religious at all. So the guy that met the wedding bought him without kosher meat. What to do? I said, first of all, you have to put a double seal. Everything, you make sure they bring it to you and you open it. They put it in the oven, but the waiter, whoever it is, bring it to you on your table, and you have to open it. Don't let them open it in the kitchen and give it to you open. You don't know what's happening in between. So he did it. So thank you very much. He did for the father.
Very nice. Okay, Parshas Massei. The Torah talks about Sichos, about a person that kills bezoden, and then the Torah switches to talk about the Horeg bishgoga, and the Torah finishes off by saying V'shofto Eida ben Amaka ben Ga'el Adam al Mishpat Eila v'tzilo Eida es Eretzech miyad Ga'el Adam v'yeshiva oiso yo'eida al ir Likote asher nas shama v'yosher bo ad mois hakoyin hagodol asher moshach oiso b'shem en hakodesh. The Ada, which is the Bezin, is Matzel, the Ritzeya. They send him in the Miklat, but he has to sit there ad Moisa Kohen Hagadol. Vim Yotze Yetzer Ritzeya Chas Gvul Ir Miklat Sheyano Shama. If he goes out, Umotzo Yisagar Ladam Chutza Gvul Miklat, Verotzach Goyel Ladam Ritzeya Chen Loydam. If he goes out of the Ir Miklat, then the Goyel Adam, if he finds him, kills him. Ein Loydam. It's as if he killed a dead man. Ki bein Miklot Yeshav et Moisa Kohen Hagadol, va'achir Moisa Kohen Hagadol Yoshav Ritzeach Haler Sachuzase. But if before that he went out, he's a dead man.
The wife of the Kodesh is
Oh. Sagt Rashi et Moisa Kohen Hagadol Shubavash Shechina B'Yisrael. L'harich Yemeim. Ritzeach Balasalik es Shechina B'Yisrael. Mekatzer es Yimei HaChaim. Enim kedai sheyiyah lifnei Kohen Gadol. It's not kedai that the Ritzeach should come in front of the Kohen Gadol. So once the Kohen Gadol passes away, he could come. But as long as the Kohen Gadol is alive,
what happened to Gואel Adam kill him after the Kohen Gadol died and came out?
then the Ga'el Adam gets killed. It's a Ritzeach.
What happened to the mother of the Rotzach? Probably she cursed on the Kohen Gadol the whole time. I want him to live, I want to die.
Exactly. We'll talk about it in a minute. Exactly. Your mother says, the Mishnah says in Matos, that the mother of the Kohen Gadol used to bring food that they shouldn't daven against him. And the wife of the Kohen Gadol too.
It's not good situation.
Not good situation. Exactly. Let's learn for the main Meforshim Anashi. The Labush says, Ad Moisa Kohen, the Verachel Visha Yeloi, the Kohen Gadol Spal Shled, the Eida, Teret Kolazul Yisrael B'Chayev Pirush, Visha Lo Yisbal Kohen Gadol, Balazet Kolazu. כך היא וסתר לזה שיש במקלט עד מייסה כהן גדול להצטער שלא יוכל לשבת לבייסה כל זמן שכהן גדול חי. מתוך כך יספלל על מיסס הכהן הגודל. ותסקבל תפילוסו, ויקבל הכהן גודל את עונש מידה במידה, מפני שלא יספלל הוא, יומוס שלא בזמני על תפילוסו שזה, ויסמן האחר תחתיו. שיספלל ולא יתיאו את הכל בישראל. וואו. Hot pepper. Yeah. Hot pepper. Saying, because the Kohen Gadol should have davened, shelo yed et hakol hazu. So now the punishment is for the Kohen Gadol. That this guy is going to be sitting and saying Tehillim 5 times a day, the Kohen Gadol should die. Wow. Guraria says, Shu bo lahashis hashchina b'Yisrael, hamedrash hazeh, nirmez boi davar mufla v'chochma gedoyla. כי מטעם מה שאומר התורה ביהושע בעד מויס הכהן גודל כרוצח או הפך הכהן הגודל. והוא ידוע שכשם שלמעלה שם על הפך מיכול שר הגודל. זה מימין וזה משמאל. Min here means kedusha, small means tuma. The opposite of kedusha. וכשירוס של מעלה, שירוס של מטה. ושירוס של מעלה איש אחד לא בשבת. והוא מיכול לכהן הגודל של מעלה, וכך רצח קבל מן שמאל, הוא הפך לכהן גודל שהוא משורס למטה. לפיכך נדחה רצח מהכהן הגודל. This is like typical the Maral. You hear the Maral speaking here. It's like Kabbalah, Maral, Mufshid, but it's Gishmak.
What
Gishmak.
happened if they have 5 or 6 souls? What then davening?
Exactly.
For the Kohen Gadol.
He says that Lamaila, there's Mechol, and there is the Tumah, Samuel. Also Lamata, there is the Kohen Gadol, the Negda is the Rotzeach. Well, it's a Kohen Gadol, oh, it's Yoselam Kamek. What are you doing in Zek? Engel Rotzeach, Losham Kamek, Kohen Gadol Mastalik, Kohen Gadol Mastalik, Achet Shalom Mastalik, Shein Kan, Doich, but one is connected the other. So when the Kohen Gadol leaves, the Kohen Gadol is the one that holds him back. Dover Acher, lo yidaitim heiche motze Rashi dover zeh. I don't know where Rashi found such a thing. Dover Acher. Sheyomer HaKosar ad mois HaKohen Gadol b'shvil da'avet leili yispalel. There's no such thing. There's no such Gemara. It doesn't exist in the whole Shas. Gemara, the Mak is Daf Yudalef, Loi Komer Kach, Ella, the Gemara says, V'yoshev Shem ad mois HaKohen Gadol. The Mishnah says, "Lavikach mesem shel kohenim amaspikim lamayim amazon delo litzali al b'neim." That in Massei, the Kohen Gadol used to bring food to the Ori Miklat, that the people shouldn't daven against their son. Umaksha hoimatz lamaisi. The Gemara says what? And if they'll daven, let them daven. Who cares? Vaksiv, it says in Mishlei kilu l'schinam loitava. It's a kilu l'schinam. Metaretz, the Gemara says the Havila Lispal al Doire, that the Kohen Gadol, it's not a Kilos Chinam, because it should have davened. Aval Shiyeh Zeh, Tama Toir, Sheyoshev Sham ad Mois HaKohen Gadol, the Gemara never said that. That Ham, who can Shtoshe B'Sifri Leil, then Svarlam Shatoir Amar, Yoshev Sham ad Mois HaKohen Gadol, Kadesh Yispal Sheyomus, cannot na Toir Oynish LaKohen Gadol, Kadei, Shispalalu Sheyamos, Ve'ein Elu Darkei HaToira Itis. The exclamation mark I put in with my computer. I said, Ahimul Gishrei. Sahimul Gishrei. This is Derech HaToira. This is Derech HaToira. That we're going to put this guy, that he should say Tehillim 5 times Tehillim a day. Yid vet and El to the Yid, they start saying Tehillim more.
What's the Kohen for? Why the Kohen?
Find out. My father says every day the whole Tehillim. Shabbos and Varchim, he says it twice. Lama? Kacha. Tell me this, go to him. Alas? It's not teaching me anymore. Yes, Tom.
I said it in the COVID for the pizza time. Brother was very sick. I said it for 2 weeks. The whole 3 weeks began. This was brother said because of the healing, we did another one time. You never know.
It's a funny thing. It's saying over here, Kohen Gadol should go, should have such a tzorah that the reason the Gemara says that the Gemara is verstanden. Gemara didn't say that's the reason. Torah never said that. The reason they said that the Tzeiach has to sit ad mois, Kohen Gadol is chadei, they should all sit and say tell him all day he should die. That's not what the Gemara said. The Gemara says that was the Metzius. So therefore, Masei shel Kohenim must pick Islam Mazen. But to say that's the reason, that's crazy. That's the taina of the Maral Prague. Maskele David. Maskele David. The David Faradu. Wayasa Faradi. Teodeza.
What's his last name?
Faradu. Ashkenazi in la Shem Kaze Faradu.
Farados?
Faradu. Fardu.
It's a Turkish Faradu. Yeah.
I think it was Syrian, Sephardi from
Spain.
Yeah.
Spain.
Or maybe it was Turkish. He was the Rav of Rashi.
The names are Turkish.
He was the Rav of Rashi of. Last summer I was in the shul of the Maskele David, and his base medrash in the city of Split. Split is in Croatia. Not Croatia. Yeah, Croatia.
The Jews.
Shlia. Anyway, the Maskele David. Ad Moise Kohen Gadol Shabbat the Baracher. Peter Shalishin Kosh the Maskele David wants to understand why Rashi has to have two Pirushim. Where are you holding? You're in it in the beginning? Okay, man. Maskele David Ad Moise Kohen Gadol Shabbat the Baracher. Peter Shalishin Kosh. He wants to say why do we have two Pirushim in Rashi? So is a shayla why we have two Pirushim. Pirush Rishon Kosher, the Keichid, Eine Kedai Shi Lifnei Kohen Gadol, Kach, Eine Kedai Lias Lifnei Kohen Gadol Acher. What's the difference this or next Kohen Gadol? If he's not worthy to go out and stand in front of the Kohen Gadol, what's the difference the first or second Kohen Gadol? In Kena Mai Chayzim and Misasek Kohen Gadol, or the Mis Kohen Gadol Echad, the man in Achem and Kohen, the Echesh of Zed et Zeich Lefona. Kach Mai Zed Var Achad Adra Buloinish La Kohen Gadol. Miu Honam Kosher. And the second pshat is shver. The Ma Oynish Zeh. What's the Oynish? What's the Oynish that guy is going to sit there forever? Ma ich beslei le Kohen Gadol shelo yetzeach b'yidei at shemes Kohen Gadol. Oh, zimni nami the Mesei yetzeach koydem loy. Sham tim mesos from Kuros. I mean, what's the punishment? Yeah. What's he says? What's the punishment to the Kohen Gadol? Obviously, he doesn't want to learn like the Levush. The point of punishment to the Kohen Gadol is they're all going to sit and say till him for life because he thinks it's off the wall.
Are the Kohanim Gadolim had long life?
Yeah, we'll talk about it soon. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, the tzaddikim had very long lives. Yerchan Kohen Gadol lived for 80 years.
Right.
He made a lot of takonas. Then he went sour.
Then he went.
Yeah.
Because if you stay.
Right. Takonas, the takon of the Mai was from Yerchan Kohen Gadol. Unbelievable.
80 years.
Right.
It's the second best Mishnah person.
Second best Mishnah. Sivsei Chacham Shloter or sometime Rishon Kosher, Tzilat Mais Kohen Gadol, Magid Loch Kosher, Sheretzech Yarich, Nam Macher, Mais Kohen, Ufish Kohen Gadol Yom Tzmeira. Alama Mafarish Lishahoya Kohen. If he Devarache Kosher, Kohen Gadol Menesh, Shemeis Al Shalois Balo, Lama Yosher Tzech Labes Mais Kohen Gadol, Kach Pirish Tam Rishon. Okay, I just wanted to go through quickly these things. No, the Rebbe's cautious.
When the call going on, David should be arrested in the race.
I don't know, you should have. So stark daven.
You know that when he went to his position, that's the flash
Right.
not
You should have. You should have. You should see him in the life.
like it's peaceful, he didn't daven good,
Yeah.
so that's why he can call happen.
Did the Kohanim Gadolim knew how many Rotzkim they have in Mikot?
I don't know.
Did they tell them? Curious.
You know? The Rebbe asks exactly the last shaila we see. What? The Meforshim all learn that the second shot in Rashi is that Oinish, the Abish that punishes the Kohen Gadol for not being spallowed for the Rotzkin.
Second Gordon.
So the shaila is, number one, the simple shaila is, where do we see in Pshut Shemikra that the Kohen Gadol deserves an Einish? And what's the Einish? Are you going to say the Einish is? You're going to say the Einish is. So this one pshat is that the Kohen, like we just learned in the Sichos, that Yomus Maheda, Kohen Gadol Yomus Maheda. So if you're going to say that's the pshat, so first of all, there's no Pshut Shemikra, not in the Pasuk, not in Rashi, Mashma, that the Kohen Gadol is Yomus Maheda. Okay, it sounds like the Retzech has to sit there for a long time. At Moisa Kohen Gadol, not. It doesn't sound in the pasuk that this is a punishment for the Kohen Gadol that he's Yomus Maheda, and this that the other Meforshim answer, which is the Lavush, that it's punishment to the Kohen Gadol that they're going to sit and say Tehillim Yom Halayla, he should die. So this is a mamish ze'avild. Number one, it's not mashma that way in Rashi. It's not mashma that way in the pasuk. And number two, the shaila that the Maram with paraphrase. Never mind that that's not the Gemara, because we know that Rebbe is not bothered with such a kasha that this is not the. This is not the Gemara. Rashi is not busy quoting Gemaras, according to the Rebbe's Mahalach. But the Higoyim, the Maram Mifrag Zog, Ahimuk Yishrei. The Eibishter makes like what? It's not nice. The Rachel Darki Noyim B'chol Nesiv V'Seh Sholom, that you're putting the Ritzeich there, that they should daven. It sounds krum.
Right, we learned that.
Right. So it's the krum to say that's why the Abish that put him there. And it's a krum. So the Rebbe says that you could say the pshat from fakert. The Rebbe says it goes well in Rashi. The first pshat is not a punishment to the Kohen Gadol. It says Ein Kedai Sheilif Ne Kohen Gadol. It's a chisaron in the Reitzeach. Second one also, it's a chisaron in the Reitzeach. The Rebbe says even a child versteht. We really learned the Pashas Chukas. I think the Rebbe shot a drop of a stretch, but the Rebbe's mahalach is that the child, he learns and retains what he already learned. Rashi emphasized several times Dikim Pashas Chukas, Misas Tzadikim Mechaperes. So a child versteht that the Misas of a Tzadik is Mechaper the Ritzeach. Why does he have to sit there at Moisa Kohen Gadol? Because the Misa of Kohen Gadol is Mechaper al Dezovin. Just like certain Avedas, they're not Neskaper until Yom Kippur, or until Yisurim, or until whatever. So this Chait is not Neskaper until Mrs. Tzadikim, which is Mechaperes. Elamai, the child is going to ask, how was the Kohen Gadol? Efshe the Rosh HaBezin. Efshe the Rosh Yeshiva. Why Dafke the Kohen Gadol? So therefore Rashi says that there's a shaykhus over here to the Kohen Gadol, because the Kohen Gadol should daven that such a takola should never in the first place happen by Klal Yisrael. But the child understands that the teretz here is not that this is an oynish for the Kohen Gadol, chas v'shalom. The Kohen Gadol did nothing wrong. He has to stay there for a very long time. Ad Moisa Kohen Gadol. That's just one pshat. Why? Because ain't a bedin that he should go out and stand in front of the Kohen Gadol because the Kohen Gadol is marich yom. And the second pshat is because Mrs. Tzadikim mechaperes. But why dafke this tzaddik? There's so many tzaddikim. Why dafke this tzaddik? Because the Kohen Gadol is more responsible for Klal Yisrael than any other yid. So therefore, dafke the tzaddik, which is the Kohen Gadol. That's the second pshat. Shaila is why Rashi needs two pshat. Why does Rashi need two pshat? All the pshatim that they give seems very doch. He's saying one of the pshatim is even a different Kohen Gadol. What do you mean? The second Kohen Gadol has no shaykhis. Is it no shaykhis?
What's it?
He's saying the doichik. Why is the Rashi not like the first pshat?
Right.
So the Maskell David says, because if you're saying any Kedai should stand in front of the Kohen Gadol, so in front of the second Kohen Gadol is also not Kedai to stand in front of him. So the Rebbe says, what do you mean? The first Kohen Gadol lived in his time, and his job was Lahasas Shechina. So then once he passes away, everything changes. It's nicht so a schwere pshat. So the Rebbe says, the pshat here is like this. You understand?
Kohen Gadol, before he went to Kodesh HaKodeshim, he was praying for Klal Yisrael.
Every day he's praying.
For anybody.
Every day.
Oh, every day.
Yeah. The pshat is like this. Rashi usually in Pshuta Shanekra is not Doirish time of the crop. Doesn't give you the reasons. Why all of a sudden here, Rashi is giving it this. The Rashi is not usually busy giving you Medrashim, time of the crop. The Rebbe says, really, it's bothering Rashi, watch the pshat in the pasuk. The Torah says that we have to protect them. Like the Torah says in Shoftim, that the Rotzeach is going to get very hot. He's going to get angry, and he'll get very hot. Yechem lavovi, I want to kill. So therefore we tell him we should sit in the ear Niklot, and that will protect him. And now, when the Kohen Gadol is going to die, then he's not going to be angry anymore, and he's not going to want to kill the Ritzech anymore.
Well, I always think it's, and that makes the wise McCloggin against shaking. For shaking, that was ACS.
And that's a Nachal Shayla. The guy did it b'shoigin.
And for shaking,
So maybe at the moment, maybe at the
the
moment, it's a broiges. We find that even Asa, that the Rivke Menu said, even she said, Tshuv Chamas v'yishaftim yomim achodim. Shaila is how long the yom achodim was. It could be Yaakov was punished because yomim achodim. He didn't have to go away for so long. He didn't have to stay away for so long. She said, yomim achodim ad shoicha masachicha. So Madach Esav Rasha, who was like couldn't be a bigger Rasha than Esav. So here it happened b'shoigig. It happened b'shoigig. So why are you thinking? Why is the Torah thinking? So yeah, that the guy thought so hits. So therefore, Rashi's answering that Takazoi. It's not exactly what you think. It's not that Yechem Lavovoi is not the only reason over here. This person. The reason why he sits there, Ba'arichus Gedoyla, Be'ikir, is not because of the Nakama, not because it's not because Jews are so angry like they're Muslims. It's a nishtazoi. The pshat is either because or because Poshet, he has to have a kapor and mitzvah sadikim mechaperes, and that's why he has to be there so long. And the Rebbe learns that Shute Shamikra, of the Kohen Gadol, Moiridik. The Rebbe learns that Mamish Kemen Choymer. The Rebbe says, if you notice, the Parshas Haritzeach is said twice. Once here in Parshas Massei, and once in Parshas Shoftim. And the whole Seder is very different. Over here it talks first about a person who kills Massei, then a person who kills Shogig, and then the Bezdin, the Shofta Eida, the Tzilo Eida, and then we say that he has to be there. And we emphasize as Moiskar and the Gadol. If she goes out, and the girl dam kills him, ain't like that. And over there, it's a different thing. It talks about the derech, that you have to make big roads and shoftim, and otherwise it'll be the big signs. And we say that because if the Ritzech is going to kill him, ain't like mishpat mavis kulei sein alay mitmail shimsha, because yechem lavav. But there we say leichem lav. What's the Rebbe says? Pshat. There's two things going on over here. In Parsha Shoftim, we're talking about Yechem Lavavi. How long is Yechem Lavavi? 15 minutes. Mamish after the crime, and we don't even know if L'Shoigig amazes it. So it could be that the girl Adam will run after him, but derech. Different, you have to have a big derech with big shlotim, and if he kills him, we say it's hard to blame him. Here in Pashas Massei is an andazach. We're not talking about kiyechem lavovi. We're saying that his kapora is that he has to live in the city for many years ad moitza kohen gadol, because on moitza kohen gadol that's shleimus of his kapora. And if he goes out, the Torah says that the goyel adam has the right to kill him. The Torah says that the Goel Adam has nothing to do because Yechem Levavoi. There's nothing to do with Yeh. That's what the whole Hemshech is. That it's the Shoftu Eida, V'tzilo Eida. And Torah doesn't mention over here one time Yechem Levavoi. Pashat. It's a din. The Eibishter Gehesen that his kapora is to live there at Moisa Kohen HaGodel. And the Torah, the Zelbe Eibishter Gezog, that if he's going to go out, the Goel Adam has the right to kill him. Why? Ein Lo Dam. It's as if he's a dead man. As soon as he walks out of the tchum of the Ir Miklot, he's a dead man walking. Ein Lo Dam. Not because Yechem Levavoi. It's nothing to, that's the difference of Pasha Shoftim and Pasha's Massei. Pasha's Massei, we're talking about the first 15 minutes when they're running Baderech. Attack over there, there's Yechem Levavoi. Here, it's a different thing. His kapora is to live for maybe 30 to 50 years, or however long the Kohen Gadol is going to live in the first base of Mikdash, and the second base of Mikdash, B'tchila, they were Marich, the Kohenim Gedolim, very long, maybe 80 years. And why does he have to live there for 80 years? Because that's the Shlemus of Kapora. And the Torah says, if he's going to go out, that the Goel Adam has the right to kill him, because Ein Lo Dam. Ein Lo Dam, nothing to do with Yechem Levavoi. That's the Din u Mishpat HaTorah. The Rebbe says, if you read all the psukim, there's like, the whole Hemshech, everything becomes Neicha. If you see the difference, that over here we're talking because of Yechem Levavoi, and here we're talking about Din Torah. Torah Gehesten, he has to be there for 50 to 80 years, or however long it'll be. And if he goes out of the Tchum, his punishment is to be killed, and nothing to do with Yechem Levavoi. That's what the Torah says, Ein Lo Dam. That's it, that's Mishpat HaTorah. So now, Rashi's saying, why is he going to be there so long? So one pshat is Ein Bedin that he should go out of his punishment place and stand in front of a Kohen Gadol. But a little bit now you understand why it's a bissel adoichik the pshat. He walks out of this, he gets a bullet in his head. Why? Because Nishain has l'shtein in front of the Kohen Gadol. Serious story. Torah says if he walks out of the tchum of the Orei Miklot, Ein Lo Dam. You're telling me a pshat. Why? It's a chain. You know what I mean? When you give him after in a shul, you should give it shlishi, you should give it psachos shevayid. And if you didn't, the Gabi had nicht gegeben shlishi psachos shevayid. What, he goes to jail for a week or two for that? What? The crime and the punishment doesn't match up. Because Eine Betin Sheyamid Lifnei Kohen Gadol, therefore he gets a bullet in his head.
Same guy that is sitting in our meeting because he killed. And once the second Kohen Gadol come, he'd say one of them. What happened?
No, this he could answer because the job is Eine Bedin, right?
Fine, but I'm saying it's the person.
The emphasis that also tzorichim. The Rebbe says that's why the Rashi has to give a second shot. The second shot is more neicha in that way. That's the shleimus hakapora. The shleimus hakapora is until the tzaddik hador.
When tzaddik dies,
the tzaddik dies is fully mechaper, and before that it wasn't mechaper. Therefore, Bemis says he deserves to die because he killed another yid. That's what Mishpat HaTorah is. Mishpat HaTorah is not Mishpat Bnei Yodam. That's Mishpat HaTorah. The Torah says, Elamai, as long as he'll be in the Ir Miklot, he'll be safe. But before Shleimus Kaparosoi, if he goes out of the Ir Miklot, Ein Lo Dam. It's not a union of Eichen Mivlobovoi. It's just that Torah says it's a very serious crime. And even if it's Bishgog, it's a very serious crime. And the Torah says if he's going to stay by Ir Miklotoi, he'll be safe. If he's going to go out of Ir Miklotoi, so then Ein Lo Dam. And because staying so long is really a chelik of his kapora. That's why the first shot is taka bisal nishlazoi neicha, and that's why Rashi felt he needed a second shot. And the second shot he's not taking from the Gemara. The Gurari is right. The Gurari asked that Rashi fadreit the Gemara. The Gemara didn't say that. All the Gemara said was that the mothers and the wives of the Kohen Gadol used to go there and give food to the people. That's not the reason. So Taka Rashi is not responsible for that Gemara. Rashi is not saying that Gemara. Rashi is saying a different thing. Rashi is saying that he has to sit there until the tzaddik, the Kohen Gadol, the tzaddik Hador passes away, and that's mechaper. But what's the connection between this yid and the Kohen Gadol dafka? We're saying because the Kohen Gadol is mechuyev to daven for yidin shelo yeda takol al yodem, and therefore if he didn't, so he is the tzaddik. When he passes away, it's the full kapora on the Reitzeach.
Did Ara Mikrat has a guard?
I don't know if they have a guard.
No,
Originally,
If you get out, they can kill him.
This says when the רוצח warning, you take him in right away. Then you says what happened in the shaking and say, what's the
First they go.
And also, they
say that it is gathered, not everybody can go in.
and when the Bez used to call them, they used to send two of the Chachamim with them, that they should not allow the Gואel again to kill him, to tell him that, the Bezdin gave him, safe passage to go to Bezdin back.
But they need a kitchen to give him food. If it's 80 years, he's inside.
No, they made sure, Bezdin made sure that the cities
everything.
they made sure it shouldn't be too big, too small. There should be people in there. The Bezdin would look after it. They'd probably give special tax breaks to go as incentives.
It wasn't the Venezuelan jails.
Section 8. Yeah,
So basically,
yeah, that's what it was.
no concept of jail, but it's there.
Section 8 vouchers. Huh?
There's no concept of jail, but it's there.
Right.
Gila Seif, like Fennec. There's
there.
not jail. There's there.
I
Here,
don't see a clown.
Here-
It's a nice,
there should have been a political senator.
until they figure out. It's not an oina, not as a punishment.
They're not going to the best thing.
Right. So the Rebbe says here we learn an unbelievable lesson of Avodas Hashem. That the first we say that the Kohen Gadol and the Ritzeach Halakoyda, the two opposites of Klal Yisrael, similar to what the Maral says. This is Koyach HaKedushin, this is the opposite. This is Malach Chol, this is Samel. But so we see, nevertheless, the life of this Yid is totally in the Kohen Gadol Dafka, because we see that there's a connection. There's a connection Dafka with Kohen HaGadol. And the emes is the Kohen Gadol is the very opposite of the Ritzeach. Why? The Kohen Gadol is the of Ma'arichas Yomim. The Rebbe says that's why the Gemara says that it was called Lishkas Eitz. Why was the Lishkas Kohen Gadol called the Lishkas Eitz? So the Rebbe's father says, because the Pasuk says, Ki Yimei Eitz Yimei Ami. Eitz could live for very long. But Sichos is that there are eitzim that are undisturbed.
It's seeking to eat under this.
They build a house. Right. They built houses. Some of the old houses today not, because they farm the wood. But all these old houses in Brooklyn,
Log cabins.
your house, the lumber there, some of those lumber are from trees that are 1,000 years old. They're very powerful, very dry, very good lumber. They're not like the lumber that you buy today in Home Depot. Kalamai,
Pressed wood.
huh?
Pressed wood.
Right. Even if it's not pressed, they
Wood is not good.
yeah.
Lakewood houses, you see, they come up like mushrooms.
Right. They also grow those woods like mushrooms. They grow them in special farms, and they put a lot of water. Today we have different technology to make that the house should stand. But these eitzim that these houses are built here are 1,000-year-old eitzim. They're very, very good eitzim. So the Alter Rebbe, the oldest.
My house is built in 1905.
Right. They're made, and you could see when you sometimes open the walls that those are mamish old eitzim. So the eitz is the Inyan of Arichas Yama. Yimei eitz yimei yam. Kohen Gadol is the Inyan of Arichas Yama, because the Kohen Gadol, the Gemara says the first Beis HaMikdash and second Beis HaMikdash beginning, like Yochanan Kohen Gadol, that was 80 years of Kohen Gadol. He wasn't a Kohen Gadol in Pampers. He was a Kohen Gadol. He was 20 years old, right? So it means he was a Zaka Muflig.
30 to 50.
Right. So he's 30 years old. He became Kohen Gadol. He's 110 years old. So we see that the Kohenim Gedolim had a Arichas Yama. Why? Because Eirichem Mina, that the Inyan of Kohen Gadol is Yamin. So therefore it's Chesed. And Kohenim Gedolim Be'etzim had Arichas Yama. And this guy's sin was to be Mekatza someone's life. So the Bemis is there, the Mamish the Aritzeach is the opposite of a Kohen Gadol. Kohen Gadol Be'etzim in Yono is Arichas Yama. Oirich Yamin B'Yamina. And this guy, Rachmana Litzlan, was the Inyan of Smoil the Klipa. He was Mekatze, the life of a Yid. There couldn't be something worse than that. Nevertheless, we say that the Kohen Gadol is responsible for him. And Nochem Ezok the Rebbe. And the second pshat is that he's responsible to David. According to the first pshat, what should we say that he shouldn't be standing in front of the Kohen Gadol, but at least there's a relationship between them. The second pshat we say the Kohen Gadol is responsible to Daven for a Yid. Which Yid? The Yidden that Nebach B'Dyuta Tachtoina, that maybe they'll be Nichshel in the Tzicha, And even Meshoigeg, but they were nichshel in it. So Shvami know that they're in a very low place. The Galgal exclusive is Zaka. But the fact that Nebuch, that there's a Yid that maybe is going to fall through the Tzicha, it's a terrible person. Elamai, we say, doesn't matter. That Dafke, the Kohen Gadol, is responsible for this Yid. It's unbelievable. So the Rebbe says we see that Dafke, the Kohen Gadol, is responsible for the Yid that maybe is going to be a Yitzhak. So,
Torah mentioning any Massei of Kohen Gadol and Rotzeh? Did they mention any?
but we see here the Torah says no, we don't see a story.
The saying
Story. We don't see a story. Anyway, the beauty in this Sikha is it's a Shvere Rashi. It's a Shvere Rashi. Raya says it's like a border, and all of a sudden it's a shine that Rashi. Imshat, it's a shine. Imshat, the Taka, it's a Pella. And then the whole Pshut Shemikra is a shine. The difference of why the Torah tells it twice this thing. Why does the Torah have to repeat it twice? Because once we're talking about Yecham Lavovi, the first 15 minutes. Once we're talking about Din Torah, there's nothing to do. 30 years later, he gets killed if he goes out of the Miklat, because Ein Loidan. Poshik, that's Din Torah, there's nothing to do. His Kapora didn't come yet. The Rashi is explaining why is it totally in the life of the Kohen Gadol. And one pshat is Eini B'din, and second pshat is even better, Kilu, Mitzad Shak. That even better, we're saying that that's the Gemara Kapora. And the lesson of Avodas Hashem, we were. What happened was that I was in Florida, so I went a year ago or something. By Lipsker, Zechrayna Levrocha, whatever, told me he wants to help me. That's not sure but he tried very hard to help Long Island. He called the Balabos here in Flatbush to meet me. The guy still didn't meet me, upon him. But I went to see him. I just went to say Ashikoya, because he already called this guy a few times. But I was in Florida, and I was there. I thought it was what happened. Yeah, it was in the Sen. So I came by the office, and I said, if I want to come by to say Yeshikoya, to Fabreng a little bit, I have an hour or so. He was telling me about the beginning of the Aleph Institute. But it was an unbelievable thing. Basically, it was a summer. He said he had some motivated to come to Fabrengen. And he bought a ticket on a Friday morning. And that Shabbos, from Florida. Many years ago, I think it was Tafshim Mem Daled, Mem Gimel. And at the no, this is before head before Tafshim Mem Gimel Mem Daled. He came to Fabrengen. He just had a feshik. He came just for Shabbos to be was Shabbos. He knew this is going to be a Fabrengen. Yeah. And he came to the Fabrengen and he was listening. And the Emsa, the Fabrengen, the Rebbe said that there is a Eden all over America that are suffering B'meitza in jail, and no one's thinking about them. No one's thinking about them.
No, stop. Jewish people are in jails in America.
What's a Shabbos? I'm telling you the way he told me. I wish I wrote it down. There's more details in the stories, but he probably, I'm sure he interviewed many people. I'm sure he interviewed and had videos. He just told it to me, Barichus Gedoyla, many details. I put over an hour.
What's Shabbos?
So after Shabbos, he went to hear Chazorah upstairs at 770. But the Oka and others would sit and have a Chazorah. And they were chazing the Fabrengen, and he's listening to all Fabrengen. And they got to that point. He said, he got up and he said, "You missed this point." They said, "Yeah." Someone said, "Yeah. Stuck at the Nevekesha to be poor after." He said to himself, if he heard it, he's the one heard it. He's the one that heard it. So he wrote to the Rebbe a note, and he gave it him right away. He went back already to Florida. He asked the Rebbe if the Kavanah was him, and that he had an idea, Taka, that he should open up, if he should open up a thing, and he'll call it the Olive Institute, and that he should go around and call it. The Rebbe answered, yes, that's what I meant. So the Kapella the thing, it was very matzliach. But it's like there's a lot of times the Rebbe did it that way. I think it was Kavanah Tefillah. The Rebbe didn't want. The Rebbe wanted, if he didn't want, it was a heavy hand. The Rebbe wanted that it should be So no one did it, so they haven't mentioned Fabrengen. Someone writes, and I heard what you said, and I have an idea. So everyone says, yeah, that's what I meant. And that started the Aleph Institute. And it was very, very much liach at the Yamazeh. Unbelievable Atzloch. Huh? What do? They have now they have connections. So they basically take care of all the spiritual needs of Yidden. So the emphasis, what happens is a lot of Yidden that are far from Yiddishkeit, when they're in jail, they find out that the Jewish also that it's a kedai to be a Yid. So they get special treatment, and now the Aleph Institute, they also have a whole sheet that trying to convince judges. What happened was that he got through to they got through to rehabilitate. This stuff is a very left-wing progressive, but what's the difference? Left, right, center. And the emphasis, and the emphasis in this Nakuda, what's different? In this Nakuda, we are very progressive. We're more progressive than the biggest progressive are progressive. Because L'daitenu, the ikid is to rehabilitate the person, not to punish. So they work really hard and they have unbelievable influence. So they reduce the punishment and they funds. Huh? Funds. They call you every year, give a donation. What? Exactly. They'll call you every year to give a donation. If you give once a donation, you'll find out how they get the funds.
They had in Israel, Rabbi. They had in Israel 45 years ago. I remember 50 years ago. A guy from the army, finished the army. His job was to find any Israeli in any jail in the world, and he would travel to get him out. Forgot his name. I met him by Mendes.
Talk about it. Somebody like that.
He's a lawyer. No, but that's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He goes all over the world.
CD. Tzadik Yud Vav Nun.
Simeon had an interview lately. He said in an Arab country, it was Nebuchadnezzar, Israeli, Mistabech, and he was in jail. So he flew there. And he flies all over the world, mamish in places. His contact. He has an Arab over there who he's very friendly with. He has a contact. It's a country that Yidden don't go there to. He doesn't want to sit in that country. So he has an Arab contact there, and he asked him if he could do him a favor that till things are worked out, he should bring a period film for the Sid who is in jail, that he should be able to put on film. And the Arab, when he was leaving, the Arab said, "Would you trust me to leave?" He said, "Yeah, for sure. I brought it for you. That you should have the film." So a few months later, and there was a Nebuchadnezzar Yid, and the guy said that he was talking from Yid, and he asked for film. He asked for film. So he made a phone call. He said, yeah, that's all taken care of. I have this Arab here. He has a film. He said, no, he only brought me a shadosh. I don't have a shogyad. So why would they call you, steal the shogyad, bring him the shadosh? So he called this boy. He says, Ahmed, what's going on? He said, you gave me two. So I got smart. I gave my friend in the other city that over there, just in case there'll be a Jew in the jail over there, I gave him the other one. Good thing.
My father that they invited me to speak in the jail. All the years. Low life.
Oh, Nebuch.
So the kid of the house says, and what do there's so many singers, so many people sitting over there. Don't want to hear nothing now. But I figured maybe Hamas would do something. Father said, I came to this. I thought that nobody can hear nothing. You can, Then I said, guys, I have a key. What's the key? They open all the locks. All came like this. They want to listen to me. That was the trick. Oh, you have the key to open all the locks? No, if you listen to you.
Leef niet bij Benitke. Very good. L'chaim.
It's only guys that says the people in jail, They didn't go out when the God that's his name Egypt. The concept of Massei is talking this doesn't sense. But the Tzaddikim says in the whole life of them, they never saw Kesher. Meaning they were so powerful that because of the blood. So according to God, since Tzaddik, he has a powerful that nobody should
be next. Unbelievable thing.
get someone on stick.
You heard in the news today,
No.
the American guy that's in charge of the hostages, get him out. What's his name?
White cuff. With cuff.
No, not Whitcoff. The mother.
You listen.
So he said that he said Hamas, if they don't release all the hostages, Israel can go and destroy the first time.
What? Said what?
Said,
But Israel won't do
Hamas
it.
giving hard
But Israel won't do it.
What hard time?
But Israel won't do it. A comment.
going
Nebuch,
down in the temptation. They said, okay, we're going out.
Nebuch.
Right.
This way.
Right.
Hamas find always something else.
Now they say to me.
So he said,
Sure for joining us. Good night.